All right, we are live. Good morning, Shannon, and
Good morning, Cyd.
I don't think there's anybody in the chat just yet, but good morning to each and every one of you that are watching the replay. How are you guys been? How are you, Shannon?
I am doing well. I am doing well. So I just tried to join the chat and it said I had to go over to YouTube. So I'm a little confused by that.
Hmm.
So maybe I will try to bring it up on my phone so I can see what's going on.
Okay.
It wouldn't be me if I didn't know slightly, like not have a clue, right?
Right.
Oh, I just got my notification on my phone that you're live.
I just got it too. Well, we were just talking about Shannon's hat that she is wearing, and she now has a kind of construction tutorial talking about it. So if you want to, I know you just said that you get tired of people asking, but you want to kind of go over that.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just so easy to do the hat that it really doesn't require like a lot of instruction or anything like that. So I put together a quick video just with some brief instructions. I mean, if you can do half double crochet and single crochet and you can count to 40, like you can do this hat.
I can't count
Um,
40. No.
Do you know what's funny? Is I actually can't either. I can only count to 20 before I lose focus. So
Well,
that's why the hat is 40. So I count to 20 twice.
okay. Yep. So what I do, especially when I get to like 100, I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10, and then I'm like, okay, I'm on 30, and then I do that again, and 40, and da da da. I was joking when I said I can't count to 40, but
I'm not. I am not. I am definitely. I start thinking about other stuff and then I'm just like 52, 48, 72. I just don't know. It's
yeah, yeah. It's easy to lose count when, especially when you're counting those big numbers.
I
Um,
know.
right
Yep.
now, I'm doing the amigurumi doll for my daughter, and like sometimes like when you're working on the arms or the legs, um it'll have you do like 16 rows of how many ever counts it is, and I just times that by how many ever rows, and then I go
Okay.
by hundreds because I'm like,
Okay.
there's no way that I'm counting to 300 without like some kind of separation. So
I would never last.
right. So I might have to dip out real quick because our dog is like whining, and it like drives me nuts when he whines.
Not a problem.
I'm gonna have to go get my husband real quick and see if he can
Okay.
do something. All right.
Not a problem. Okay, so if you are here, um, we are live on Sydney's channel, so I don't have access to see like how many people are in here right now, but she had to duck out real quick. If you just missed that, she had to attend to her dog, so I can totally get that. My dog is kind of a maniac sometimes, and he's so loud. So yeah, if you are here, please say hello down in the chat so I know you're here. I appreciate you joining us on Saturday morning. It is cloudy where I am at in Iowa, and it is super warm and super humid. So, just kind of those end days of summer. I don't know if you guys have been busy and trying to get like the last little bit of summer out, or if you are just kind of, soaking it all in. Hello, Bobby. Thanks for joining us. And Cyd's back now.
Hello,
Excellent.
Bobby. Sorry. We've had our dog for a little bit less than a year. We got him from the pound,
Mm,
and he's they when we got him, they said that he was about 3 years old, so I'm guessing he's about 4 now. But he's got separation anxiety,
mm,
but we don't trust him to be just roaming out when we can't watch him
yeah.
because he has used the bathroom in the house. So my husband and my daughter's outside, and he was in his crate, and he was whining, and it drives me nuts when they whine like that sometimes.
I
So
couldn't hear it if that helps, but I know what it's like listening.
yeah, yeah. So it was you're going outside with them. So
Yeah, we have a Brittany Spaniel, and he is in September, he'll be 11. But they're a breed where they just act like they're puppies. Like he naps a lot more than he used to, but he's just full speed all the time. And like you said, lots of separation anxiety, a lot of anxiety in general. So yeah, he needs to be around people, or we say he tea kettles, like he makes this really, really high pitched, like whining noise,
yeah.
and like a tea kettle.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, I couldn't have him here
Yeah.
in this room.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, he is just, he's so full of life. And, when we first got him, because we got him from the pound, he was in the pound for about a year and a half.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, when they found him, he was like chained up to a tree or in a crate,
Oh,
something like that. And so he had no human interaction other than
oh,
the shelter. And I kept up this story for a little bit, and they said how long he had actually been in there, and I'm like, PJ, he needs a home, and so, which is my husband. And so right before Thanksgiving last year, we ended up going and adopting him. And I mean, he's done a complete 360. He's so full of life, so
oh,
full of
good.
energy, and I mean, he's still kind of skittish around strangers, but he's
Mhm.
he's getting there. So
What kind of dog is he?
he's a mixed breed. We want to say that he is like some kind of English pointer,
Oh, okay.
but also has maybe a little pit or something like that in him.
Okay.
Hi Ruth, good morning. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Ruth. Have you ever considered making your dog like, so have you ever seen the channel? Her name is Mads, Mads, but her channel is called Gray and Crochet. She's an Australian young woman.
I don't think I've ever heard of her channel.
Okay, her channel is super small. Like she's like around 100 subscribers right now,
So
but
she's
yeah, she has, greyhounds, hence the name Gray and Crochet, but
mhm,
she makes, those, like, snoods for her greyhounds, and she makes these, like, adorable hats, like a frog hat or a sunflower,
uh-huh.
and, like, they're so adorable, but my I would never in a million years crochet anything for my dog because it would be destroyed in seconds and all that hard work.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming if your dog definitely has like some bird dog in him, like that would be not a good idea for you either.
No, like he will destroy a toy within just a matter of seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
So he still doesn't know boundaries just yet. It's a slow process for him. But he like
Hi, Racine.
Iris Lean, occasionally he will like grab one of our daughter's toys and it's like, no, right then and there. But yeah, no, I would not do anything like that for him. Plus, he sweats a lot. Um, so he's a stinky boy.
I will try to find that real quick, Ruth.
And what was the channel's name again?
Gray and Crochet.
Gray and Crochet. So do you have just your little, not little, but your puppy, your dog, whatever you want to call him, or do you have other animals too?
Well, I call him my old man baby boy.
Well,
You know how, like, you talk to your animals in, like, the stupid voice, like, you would never use in public, and then you make up, like, 100 nicknames for him, so
yeah.
but he is an old man. Like I said, he'll be 11 next month, but, yeah, we've got him, and then we've got a kitten who is, like, 2 years well, he's not really a kitten now, but, yeah, he's, like, 2 years old, and
Hmm.
he just showed up on our property. We live on an acreage, and I mean, there's other acreages, but they're they're like miles apart, and
Yeah.
um it was just like him and his mom was trying to wean him and get away from him, and he was like, my husband, who was like, we'll never have another cat, is like bringing the cat inside, and like, I'm gonna take him to the vet.
Right.
So it worked out great, but
Yeah, we got two outdoor cats. Um, we've got, I think, Cammy. She's our female. I think gosh, how old is she now? I think we took over because the house that we were trying to buy in West Virginia,
Mhm.
which was from my husband's ex boss,
Okay.
um, they with the house because they had two dogs and their dogs didn't get along with their cats, so we just kind of adopted them. But I think she said that Cammy, our outdoor cat, she was 2 years old when we adopted her, so she is probably like 5 or 6 now.
Mm.
And then, which she's a calico, she is beautiful and she's my little sweetheart. Uh,
Oh.
and then we have Lance. I think he is maybe like one of them American ragdoll cats. I'm
Oh,
not.
yes.
He's beautiful, but he drives me nuts. He drives me nuts. And then, of course, we've got the chickens and the turkey. So,
Yeah. We talked about getting, poultry or fowl because when we've got like 4 acres, but, our house wasn't a foreclosure, but it probably would have been one, had we have not purchased it when we did, and we've had so much work to do on our house inside and out, and the outbuildings, that we just realized, like, we've been here 8.5 years now, or 8 years now, and it's like we're not even close to being able to add like actual animals.
right. Yeah, I remember you telling me a few times that you've been kind of in your husband's ear about getting chickens or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
You just got to rub them the right way.
I know. Well, if egg prices go up to like $7 a carton again.
Yeah, yeah. That's uh that's one of the reasons why we got the chickens because eggs were getting so expensive.
Mhm.
But when we finally were actually trying to buy the house, there was some. It was on family property, and there was a big old mess. So we knew the risk of what would have happened, but nothing
Yeah.
was. I can't go into too much detail because I'm trying to be a little vague about it. Um, but then is when I was wanting to actually get chickens, and my husband's like, I don't know just yet. We need it. Like something was telling him that don't get too involved in getting animals. So we came down here and we actually rented this house out for a year. We talked to our landlord and asked him if he would be willing to put it up for sale. So we've been purchasing this house for the last 2 years. So
Nice.
um, we're
Nice.
we're wanting to get the property that is right next to us, which is another acre and a half or something like that. So, yeah, I've been, like I said before, I've been in my husband's ear about getting sheep and stuff.
Making all sorts of plans.
Yeah. So
So
Racine said, Shannon, I live in Texas and got my puppy in Iowa. My son lives in Iowa.
yeah, so I don't
Awesome.
wanna say any names for privacy reasons, but he lives in that town where the initials are CB, right? I think so. Um, yeah, you can bring that puppy back to Iowa, we'll take him. No, I'm kidding.
He's naughty. I tell him to take him back to
Yeah,
Iowa.
I think, any puppy would probably rather live in Texas than Iowa, but my dog likes the winter, like,
Mhm.
I don't know, he loves running around in the snow and everything.
I think,
I still
go
Oh,
ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
I think I got a link up there to Mads's channel, but it looks a little goofy, like it didn't, like, turn it into a link. It's just like you'd have to copy and paste it probably. So sorry that didn't work out as well as I. Oh, yeah, I was thinking it was Council Bluffs. Am I wrong? Sorry if I shouldn't have said that.
I
um,
don't I don't know anything about Iowa, so yeah.
um, so you said a second ago, you're like, I want to be vague. I don't want to go into too much detail. So I had a video that was out, and in the video, I talked about a family member, and not that she so much intentionally rejected a crochet gift I made her, but she like clearly didn't want it or value it enough to remember a year later that I had made it for her when she in
Mhm.
fact asked me to make a second one. And I was like, "Oh." Anyway, in the video, I was very vague, and I'm like, "I'm gonna be vague." And I
Mhm.
said I was at a cousin's thing, and this person asked me to make something with an animal on it, and I was kinda surprised. I got, a couple comments from people where they were like, "That's not vague. Your cousin's gonna know exactly who it is." Or they'll be like, "Unless you have 5,000 cousins, they're gonna know who it is." And I was like, okay, well, I guess I could have done that a little bit different, but I'm like, it really wasn't a cousin's event and it wasn't an animal. Like I just like swapped out the details.
Right.
But yeah, some people were like very um offended
Mhm.
that I like they thought I was being specific, and I was like, I changed the details and the names. Plus,
Right. Right. It's vague to us,
yes.
but to whoever knows the situation, then it's not so vague. They can
Well,
put two
no,
and two
these were
together.
like strangers telling me that, the person was gonna be able to identify themselves, and I was like, "Okay, um, they won't, I guarantee it," because it wasn't a cousin and it wasn't an animal, so
Right.
and I guess maybe I should have put, like, a little asterisk and been like, "Names and details have been altered," but
Right. Right.
I
Right.
was just like, "Wow, okay."
People.
Yep.
People.
I actually like, I don't have a lot of I really don't have any family that watches my videos.
Mhm.
Like I tell them like, don't subscribe to me just like to support me, because if you're never gonna watch, it doesn't really support
Yeah.
me.
Right.
Um, it like tells YouTube that my subscribers don't like to watch my stuff. So
Right. Now, I know, which I'm honestly surprised, and she might even be here. I don't know, but I know my mom. She tries to keep up. Um, I know my nieces and nephews that were just in July. They call me the YouTube lady.
ah, that's cute.
Somehow they ended up finding my YouTube channel. I don't know if it was through their mom or if it was just through YouTube or what it was. But yeah, now I'm not Aunt Sydney. I am the YouTube lady.
That is cute. That
Right.
is cute.
So I was like, well, thanks for watching. As long as you're not disliking those videos, because they're turds. They're turds sometimes.
Like
So
they would do it just to mess with you.
yeah, they're turds.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, just because you yelled at me while I was there.
Yeah.
Thumbs down, yeah. Whatever.
It's okay. I have actually heard that it doesn't really matter at all, like the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Like it actually like it just shows people are interacting. Because if you look at like channels that are like the ones that are designed to get you angry and riled up about something, and if it
Mhm.
gets like 50,000 thumbs down, YouTube like keeps pushing it out there
Yeah,
because they're like, "Ooh, people are reacting to it."
right.
So,
It's the like you just said, the reaction and
mhm.
yeah. Good morning, Katie. How are you this morning? She is a sweetheart. She is a
Hi,
sweetheart.
Kimberly.
So Racine said, I thought you handled it very well, Shannon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yet sometimes it is kind of like, I try to kind of separate my, you know, feelings from it, but sometimes it does kind of, suck when you get a like. That's the beginning of this year. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I had a hater on my channel or what, but every single video that I published for at least a good 3.5 months, one or two people were disliking it. Every
Oh,
single
yeah.
video. And it's like, okay. And sometimes it was within the matter of 20 minutes to 2 hours. So I
So
was
like
like, what's going on here?
they were intentionally like just going in as soon as you published,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I think I know who it is, but I'm going to keep those details to myself. So,
Well, I know Megan from Show and Tell Meg.
yeah.
She had done a video a while back where she had purchased some yarn from Temu.
Hmm.
And I know people have mixed feelings on the website, and I'm not getting into that, but um, she was experiencing a little bit of bullying after that, and she couldn't
Hmm.
prove it. But it was that same type of thing where as soon as she'd publish, boom, thumbs down. And it was like, it wasn't related to that video, but it was after like a couple bad comments on that video. And it's like, she's a new enough channel where, um, I mean, I guess I kind of expect, like, I've been on like almost, or what, 2.5, 3 years now. So I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, I mean, I expect to get a little bit of thumbs downs.
Right.
But like when your channel's only like 6 months old, and just you you don't have a ton of videos out yet, and like there's like somebody was definitely messing with her.
Right. Right. Which, I mean, it's expected to get dislikes, but like I said, when it's continuously and it's every
Mhm.
single video,
And
then
right away, yeah.
yeah, there's a hater there. But hey, you're only benefiting me. So
Oh,
if
I
it makes
know.
you feel better, then do it, please, whatever, because I'm the only one that's going to be benefiting from it. So
I had seen I'm not going to say the name, but it was a very controversial political figure, like, that does videos, say that her biggest haters were actually like her biggest fans in a way, because she's like, the people who love me, they'll watch my video, they'll comment, they'll move on with their day. She's like, but the people who hate me, they'll watch 8 hours of footage to make like a 45-second reel about how much they hate how close my eyes are together.
yep,
And it's like, she's like, they're watching 8 hours of my videos, like they're the best fans, the ones that hate me so much. So I
yep,
was like, there's some perspective.
yep, yeah. The ones that can't stand you, they want to,
Nitpick the most.
that or copy you or do
Mhm.
whatever in their power. So yep. Thank you, Racine, for subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, you will enjoy. Sydney has a ton of great comments, so you'll definitely enjoy it.
Great comments. That's I was on um Kim's live, or I was on her live yesterday,
Mhm.
and she was talking about yarn balls or something like that, but instead she said yarn farts. So I was cracking, and people in the chat were cracking up laughing because it was just, then silly miss, you're rolling,
Mhm.
stumbling through your words and stuff like that. So yeah, somebody said, I think I would rather have yarn farts than regular farts. And I was like, I don't know about that, because wouldn't that mean strings are coming out your,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I
I,
also have like an inner 14-year-old, so I'm like, fart joke.
yeah, yep.
All right, so I did finish my second cup of coffee, so I'm moving
Uh-oh.
on to water now. So if the intensity of this live stream picks up, you'll know why.
Because the water, because the coffee.
Because the coffee's kicking in.
Yep.
Good morning.
Like I said, I've already had my little bit, and I mean just a little bit, because if not, I'll be doing flips and God knows what else. I'll be
Well, I
breaking
know
hip.
I
Yeah.
know prior you had said, like, because okay, if you don't know, like, doing a live stream, you get real amped up and anxious beforehand, and we have been working on this since January, so, now I'm not nervous in the morning, but for the first probably, I don't know, 6 at least, I was just like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
And, yeah, I swear you had said that, yeah, you couldn't figure out why you were getting so anxious, and then you're like, "Oh, I've only had 2 cups of coffee."
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of I'm caffeine sensitive anyways, so I try to limit my caffeine intake. I didn't grow up on drinking soda, pop, whatever you want to call it. I didn't drink a lot of sweet tea. It was mainly water because I was always in sports. So I didn't even start drinking coffee until I think the first time I drank coffee, and I have a story about that, was I was in seventh grade. My stepdad, he doesn't drink a butt ton, but he drinks a lot of coffee. My mom is not a coffee drinker. So one day I decided that I was going to try to be slick and take one of them big old mugs of coffee and take it to school with me, trying to be a cool kid and everything. I had to call my mom by second period, which was I think probably around 10 o'clock or something. I had to call her to come and get me because I am sitting there. I mean, I had armpit stains all the way down here. I'm sitting there like just sick to my stomach, sweating, and I'm like, "Mom, you need to come and get me because I can't do this today." And she did, but she was like, "What's the problem? What's the problem?" Like, I drank coffee, and she was like, yeah, they'll do that. Now you know next time not to drink that much coffee.
Yeah,
So
she probably figured you punished yourself more than she ever could.
probably so yeah. And then I have another story when I was pregnant. I think I was 8, close to 9 months. My husband, he decided that he was going to be slick and not tell me, but he's a heavy, or used to be a heavy coffee drinker. So he would mix dark roast coffee and espresso and make a big old pot of coffee. Well, he didn't tell me that he did that. Here I am, 8, 9 months pregnant. I'm drinking 2 cups of coffee. We go to the grocery store, and I'm like, literally, my knees are like doing this. And I'm like, why? Why am I so nervous? And he's like, well, I mix espresso in with coffee. And I'm like, thanks for telling me that. Thanks. After I drank 2 cups of
Yeah.
coffee, dude, you gotta tell me this stuff. But yeah, since then he's
Yeah,
kind of
I have to really watch myself, because I just like having the mug, it's warm, it feels good in my hands, it's cozy, it's soothing, so
mhm.
I would just continue to keep drinking until yeah, till I make myself sick.
Hi, Mama Winch. How are you this morning? Yeah, I'm more of a. It does not matter what time of the year it is. I am a cold coffee drinker.
Mm.
I'm a cold coffee drinker because hot coffee, I'm already hot as if. You can take that how you want it, but hot coffee makes me even more hot. So yeah,
Yeah, you just need to stay away.
yeah. So
I did sorry, I was, like, going back, but I was looking at the thing. When I went and found Mads's channel, I would just wanna correct myself, I said she only had, like, 100 subscribers, but apparently she has grown a ton, and she's up to, like, 400 and some, so,
that's awesome, though. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I just didn't want to be like, you know, have you go there and then be like, "Shannon's an idiot."
Yeah. Well, you unless you like constantly keep up with that channel,
Yes, yes.
or even constantly looking at their subscribers, which I don't. Occasionally I'll look at somebody's subscribers and I'm like, oh, cool, they're here. They were here last time
Mhm.
and now they're here. That's awesome. Seeing the growth. Um, but yeah, if you're constantly watching them, which I don't understand, like why you would be constantly watching somebody else's subscriber count, um, then stuff like that happens.
Yep, yep.
So
Sometimes I'll go in like because I have noticed YouTube has been doing a good job of on my home screen, like not the subscription screen, but on the home screen of popping up other channels that I have not ever heard of before.
Mhm.
Um, and so then I'll be like, oh, I haven't heard of this person. So I'll go in and like look like, oh, how long have they been around? You know, do they have 2 videos? Do they have 100 videos? You know, stuff like that to kind of gauge, like, why haven't I seen them before?
Right, right,
But yeah,
right.
that's the only time I'm really creeping around on.
Which your channel has taken off significantly this year.
It is kind of crazy. It really is. Um, s- Here's the thing. I am so grateful for that, but then some parts are really scary.
Right, because yeah,
It's
because you don't know how fast you're gonna grow, and
yeah,
it's like that mindset too,
yes.
you know.
And I
But
feel like when I've had like a couple bumps with videos that have gone like viral for me, not
Mhm.
like legit viral, but viral
Right,
for my channel.
right,
Um, Definitely when that has happened, it has exposed a lot of people that aren't normal viewers, and then that tends to be when a lot of the negativity comes in. And, as a person who strives very hard to be positive and not be negative, um, because I came from a very, like, negative upbringing, so it it's a little bit of a trigger, and I don't wanna be that way. And then getting inundated with the negativity, that can be a bit much. So it's hard to, like I get excited when I get some growth, but then I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen here?
right, right.
If that makes sense.
Right. No, I completely get it because sometimes too, it's like I really want this video to do really, really well, but it's also that it's kind of I don't. It might have been you that was actually talking about it, but just being seen. You don't
Mhm.
want to be seen, especially in
Yep.
a negative way, and then you get
Yeah.
all this negative feedback. Because sometimes that does, hurt your self esteem a little bit, but
Yep.
I think it's very, very important that, especially being in the social eye or public eye, social eye, public eye, you need to have a
Yeah.
coping mechanism and separate. Hey, that's
Mhm.
that person's problem. That's not my problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's um, what's the word? Constructive
Oh,
criticism.
for sure. Yep.
So yeah. So, but yeah, it's very important to have a coping mechanism, and
Mhm.
you
And
know,
I did also go into my blocked words list. Like anyone can, you can put any words you want in there. And I have definitely added some different words um, that I noticed were, um, and it wasn't even like directed at me.
hmm
Um, but like words where people were fighting in my comments about
yeah,
certain topics. And I just put all those words in the blocked videos. So if people are writing those words in the comments, it won't show up and nobody has to see that. So that really has helped because I'm like, it's kind of weird. No one's commenting about this for a while.
right. Have you blocked the poop emoji yet?
I haven't. Because here's the thing. I thought, you know what? Somebody might like, I can see myself like if I was like making a comment and be like, instead of writing like, oh, I did this, mine turned out like crap, like I might put the poop emoji. So I didn't block that one. I thought that one could still be potentially useful.
Yeah. I still crack up over that. Still crack up over it. Oh, Lord.
Yes, Katie, there is a blocked words. It's under like if you go into oh, I can't remember off the top of my head if it's like account settings or like upload settings, something like that. But if you were to just go on YouTube and type in how to block words, it'll give you a complete, you'll find a tutorial on that. I think maybe Nick Nimmin is might be where I found out about that from. And then I had seen another YouTuber post, like she was so tired of people saying it looked like she had chapped lips that she actually put the words chapped lips and chapstick in her blocked words because she's just like, I can't have 40,000 comments about my lips looking dry.
Right, right. Yeah,
So yeah,
sometimes
it
stuff like
doesn't even
that.
have to be like a dirty word. Like it could just be like, um, if you were like insecure about something. So I used to have I think it's called like a cherry angioma. It's
Mhm,
just basically like a mole, but it's bright red because there's a blood supply.
mhm,
And I mean, I had it for decades, and I did end up getting it removed. Um, it was getting a little bit bigger, and I would like sometimes catch
mhm.
it. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not getting into that, but I got it removed. But like, you know, I was always kind of waiting for somebody to like say something in the comments about it, but
mhm,
nobody ever did. But if I wanted to, I could have put like red dot
right.
or big zit or stuff like that in my blocked words. So
Yeah, my biggest insecurity is my teeth because I have like a little bit of like raised right here. And that's from my wisdom teeth. But luckily, nobody has commented negatively or anything about my appearance. And like I said in the last live, I really haven't. I've been fairly blessed. I have not got a lot of negative feedback, but
well, just so you know, you have a beautiful smile. I've never once been like, "What's going on in there?" Like, you have a beautiful smile.
it's just my own insecurity
Yeah.
because before my wisdom teeth, I've never had braces.
Mm.
And before my teeth were up top perfectly straight. My
Oh,
bottom teeth, they are a little crooked, but it's kind of like an insecurity now after my wisdom teeth. I was actually supposed to get them two molars removed to kind of keep that from pushing it up, but yeah, it didn't
I
happen.
get it.
But yeah, that's one of my biggest insecurities. So
Well, I honestly think that there's a lot of people on who would like to be on YouTube, like a lot of crocheters, because I have people in the comments, a lot of times saying, "Oh, I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for 2 years." And I think sometimes those little things can keep us back. And I
right,
just think if it's something you want to do and you want to have a channel and you want to talk about crochet with other crocheters, don't let something little like that get to you.
exactly. And how I've heard other people say it, the right people will find you and you will find the right
Yeah.
people
Yep.
for you as well.
Yep.
It's very, very important to find those people as well.
Mhm.
And you don't know the opportunities that you're going to get. You don't know the people that you are going to meet. And there are some
Mhm.
very awesome people in
Yes.
the community. Mama Winch, a lot of, I'm not going to name everybody, but, um, there's just so many great people in the community that just make it
Mhm.
a lot better.
Yep.
So,
Well, and like you just don't know too, like maybe something that you have gone through or something that you are insecure about, maybe that is going to strike a chord with somebody else who needs to hear that. And,
exactly.
by keeping that and reserving that to yourself, you could be blessing someone else with that information and all of that. I mean, it's
That's I don't know if you've heard of her channel. She is fairly new, but she just hit her 200 subscriber mark this morning. Her name is Yes Michelle.
uh,
And I don't get to watch her videos, all the time, but when I do, she is very, very raw. I will say that she's very, very raw, and her personality might not be for everybody, but that's okay. And she's stated and she's made that boundary. I know I'm not for everybody. Um, but to me, a lot of her content, because she just talks about things that are going on in her life, things that she's doing, it's kind of more like a vlog, but for
okay.
crocheting. She also kind of, somebody who needs somebody, that she's that person's buddy.
Mm,
Um, but for me, a lot of her videos are kind of like a warm hug, how I describe it, because at the end of her talking, she talks about, hey, you need to making sure you're taking care of yourself. You need to drink water. You need to do all this stuff making sure you're taking care of yourself. And I think we really need to, especially as content creators or just really anybody, we sometimes need to be reminded of that we need to take care of ourselves too.
Yeah, 100%.
Mama Winch, let me see if I can make you a mod. Because Nightbutt's kicking her out.
Oh no. I thought I just okayed her comment.
Well, okay. Yeah, because you are a moderator. All right. I think you are now a moderator, Mama Winch. Is there
Perfect.
anybody is there anybody else that wants to be a moderator for this channel? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Or at least until the next time Cyd does a live.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's a sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent there, but when you said you have to take care of yourself, I
Mhm.
have seen a couple videos lately of like people in our niche either like quitting YouTube or having like a little bit of a breakdown. And um like there was a video, I don't know, maybe 3 4 weeks ago from Cinnamon Stitches where she was having a definite moment of crisis.
Yeah.
um and I think some of that is that like just putting so much on yourself. And then I had seen a video from, I always say this lady's last name wrong, but it's Olga is her first name, and the last name is Poltava, I think. And she does tutorials and patterns and stuff. And she did like a goodbye video, and you know she's got like I thought it was like 150,000 subscribers or something like that. And I don't know, it was just one of those things where you think so much pressure. And yeah, I would just it just makes me sad to see people leave after putting so much work into it. But if their expectations are different, or you know they're just feeling like it isn't worth it anymore. Hi Karen, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Uh-oh, it looks like we just lost Cyd for a second. So, um, hopefully she will pop back on here since this is her live stream. Hopefully you can still see me. I appreciate everybody popping on here this morning. I hope you are having a good Saturday morning. I have to just clean my house. I'm having some in-laws come over to visit tomorrow, so probably won't get a lot of crochet done today. I know, she did go poof. I hope everything's okay. She did. I feel like she must have been really working on her StreamYard setup because, like, I came in this morning and she had like graphics and everything. Oh, she said her phone overheated. Oh no. Hopefully she'll be able to get back on here in just a second. Or if you would let me know what you would like me to do, Cyd. Yeah, Racine, I am enjoying the lives too. So next month we will be over on my channel. I'm not sure what the exact day will be, but it'll be that third Saturday of the month. And okay, here she is. There we go.
Sorry, my phone overheated. My husband, he had one of those like GPS things in his truck. It broke in his truck, but I was still able to use it. It's one of those charging ones.
Hmm.
Um, and I had it connected to my phone, but it overheated while it was charging, which it's never done that, so it was weird. So I am completely sorry about that, you guys.
I thought you handled it very well, and I appreciate you letting me know where you were.
Yeah. And then of course my, computer, my laptop was not connected to the internet. So I had
So you have
typed
to wait for it. Yeah.
yeah, so I had to go in the living room real quick so it could reconnect. Come on, technology.
Yeah, so before the live started, I told Sydney I was drinking so much coffee and water. If she saw me just get up and leave, it's because I was running to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, maybe Sid's in the restroom.
No,
She just took off, didn't say anything.
I hope not. I don't want to have that problem.
Oh, shoot.
Mama Winch said, Sid, a bag of frozen vegetables works good for that problem. Oh.
So I was watching, I didn't get to watch it yesterday, but this morning I got to watch your All Things Yarn related. And your bandana cowls are so beautiful that you're working on right now. So you said the one yarn you thought was from Hobie. Have you ordered from there in the past or no? Or
I have ordered from them once. I did it was like a replica of a bear hide is what this person wanted. And she wanted fuzzy yarn. So I ordered, I think it was their teddy bear yarn. But that was the only thing that I've ordered from Hobie. No, my mom, which is this right here, the Manarola.
yeah.
She had like 10, 11, 12 skeins of it.
Oh,
And
wow.
she had it just sitting in the tote. And I asked her, I said, what are you doing with that yarn? And she's like, I don't know. I said, because she told me that if I wanted to go through her yarn stash and take whatever, I could. And so I was like, since you don't know what you're doing with that yarn, do you mind gifting it to me? And consider it as a Christmas gift. So she's like, yeah, you can take it because I don't know. And roving style yarn too. So I know how much of a pain it is to work with and rip out.
Yeah. If you have to frog that, that's
yeah.
It's just so pretty. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love the coloration.
Yes. That is absolutely gorgeous.
I was like,
I have people keep telling me like, oh, you got to order from Hobie or Hobby or whatever. And I get on there and I have creeped around the website so much, but some of their prices feel kind of high to me for certain things. And so I've just been kind of skittish and I just haven't ordered from there. But there are definitely some things that are very, very tempting on there. And then, what was the other one? Meg from Show and Tell Meg. She told me about another website called, I think it's like Linda Hobby or something like that. It's like LINDEHOBBY. I think it was like a Dutch or German, or it was like, it's somewhere in Europe. And she was saying she got phenomenal deals. And maybe she just talked about it. She just put out a video yesterday that I haven't got to watch yet. But she said she got like some yarn. It was like German sock yarn that was normally, I don't remember, close to $20, but she got it for 12 there. Like she thought for what it was very good prices. And I checked it out, but they weren't like brands I was familiar with. And so, yeah, I didn't order anything there, but she said the shipping was great. So yeah, I might have to check out her video and see what she has to say, because she does seem like she knows what she's talking about with some of these like more specific yarns and companies. So
there was I don't even remember who it was, but they were showing off some kind of yarn. And was it you? I don't know.
Me?
I don't know, but they were showing off some kind of yarn, and I don't even remember what it was. And they sent me the link, and I was like, it was in Russian. I'm like, okay, I can't read this, but okay.
That definitely wasn't me, because I can't read Russian.
I don't remember who it was. Hold on, the little girls. What? Okay, you can go back outside.
Oh, you have trouble too, Katie, pulling the trigger on that? Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, the prices to me, even if they are, marked off, to me, it's just, especially after shipping cost,
Hmm.
it's not worth it sometimes.
Yep.
Uh,
I do really like Wool Warehouse, and their shipping is only like 6.50. So to get it to come from the UK to my house, I don't think is bad.
mhm.
Um, and they have like it runs the gamut on like quality and what types of yarn and stuff like that. You got to make sure you turn the prices over into US dollar. Like don't look at the pounds because it'll seem like it's cheaper, but it's not. But they do regularly have pretty good sales on stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I that is one of my kind of like new favorite sites that I've really started enjoying.
The wool wear.
Wool Warehouse, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just so particular, and I don't like buying off of online. I want
Like
to,
you but
but
you wanna, like, see and feel it.
yeah, like,
Mhm,
um, and sometimes too, the pricing just gets me as well. Like the yarn art cakes, the gritty
mhm.
ones, I love them so much, but I can't get over the price.
Yeah.
Can't get over
Yes.
the price. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually was just looking at some yarn art flowers, and it had, like, a sparkle in it, and, I was like I found some on Amazon, but I'm like, "You know what? I just can't." I don't know. And these weren't terribly I mean, compared to some of them, I think they were like 12 or $13, but it was like totally discontinued. There was only 4 of them available, and I'm like, "So if I like it, I can't get it again, or how do I know if it's enough for a project?" And then I just closed the window out and walked away.
yep. Elizabeth, you are not late. You are always on time.
That's right.
Mama, which wood are you hoarding? I see you are hoarding cotton,
Ah,
cotton yarn. Cotton yarn's one of those, like, either you love it or you hate it,
mhm.
and it just really depends on the brand too. Because like
Yeah.
peaches and cream, I cannot stand peaches of cream. I'll use it, but I can't stand it. And I use it for something that needs to be a little bit more starchy.
Yeah.
But I love this yarn. Yeah, that I feel like that's a little bit more for like wearing.
Mhm.
Hobie
Yeah.
cotton yarn and thread.
I have come to realize, like, I really prefer a cotton blend as opposed to just straight up cotton. Like,
Hmm.
I know everything has a purpose, you know, and sometimes you need just straight up cotton. But for like my hands and working with it, I would much, much rather do a cotton blend.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people, which it makes sense, but cotton really dries out their hands.
Yes.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because that's what cotton's supposed to do, is soak up moisture. So,
And I feel like you have to pull so hard on it
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. Cotton's just, like I said, I'll use it, but it's not my favorite. I am excited to answer one of your questions that you asked me, which is the if I had, like, if money wasn't an
Mhm.
object. I am so excited
Well,
to
I'm looking
answer that.
forward to that video.
So yeah, I'm excited to answer that one because it was a hard one to answer though, because it was like I haven't tried nearly like half of the fiber that's out there, and so to niche it down, or not, I guess, would that be the
I
correct term?
think so, yeah.
Um, to what exactly I would like in a yarn, that was hard. That was hard. So I have
Yes, I know. Oh, sorry. We're maybe we're both commenting on the same comment here.
no,
Yeah,
you're good.
I have seen Hirschner's mill ends, for their cotton, and I
Mhm.
know Sweet Moments by Jessie has hauled a few of those, and yeah, they are beautiful, and I would agree with you. It very well could be the yarn art ones. My only thing is I wish that you could I don't know, I wish they had, like, pictures of the mill ends where you could,
Yeah.
like, order. 'Cause I know, like, I think it might be Premier's site, and I've actually never ordered straight from Premier,
Mhm.
but like they'll have their like value bags of unmarked yarn, and you can like go in and see like if it's black or brown or white or whatever and click on the one you want. I do wish Hirschner's did that, but that's okay. I love Hirschner's, love them.
Katie, I would have to get back with you on that question because I have no clue. All I know is I see the gradient cakes and I fall in love with them every time. Hey,
How are you doing that?
I don't know. That was cool.
I thought you were doing like in the beginning when we started the video, you had some graphics coming up and I was like, how did you do this?
I didn't know you could do that.
I can't.
Can you blow kisses?
It's only working for you.
Huh. That's crazy.
You had like speech bubbles earlier in the beginning of the video.
That is crazy. I've never seen that happen on anybody else's live. So
So you don't know how you're doing it.
No, I just Mama Winch, do you know if there is like another thing that you can do?
Like, how did she hit that button? Or how did she make that happen?
Learning something new every day.
I thought you were doing it on purpose. I was like, how fun. She figured out all this cool stuff.
No, that was not in my intentions at all. Creations by Jax does them all the time. Try a peace sign.
Oh, you got balloons.
Balloons. Good morning, thrifty crocheter. We are trying to, if you find weird graphics coming up on your, we just discovered something new. So balloons for the peace sign.
Yeah, I have never seen that before.
That is awesome, though.
Yeah, totally thought you were doing it on purpose.
No, nope.
Yeah, because earlier, I think you might have had a like.
Yeah, I seen that one, but I thought, maybe that was the chat or something.
I think it was you.
Let's see, thumbs up.
She is magic.
It's my secret weapon.
That you didn't know you had.
Yeah. No, there for a while, my husband was calling me a witch. And no, it wasn't a derogatory mark either. But because I'm into the crystals and the astrology and the moon and the sun and all of that. And I will admit it, I have done some spell work. Nothing, it's been all white magic. But he's like, you're a witch. I'm like, not a witch.
We had she's not on here today, but we used to have a massage therapist that worked in our office. She like rented a room, and yeah, we would always kind of call her a witch in the most affectionate way. But it's just because she, like, if you said like you had a problem of some sort, like she'd be like, hold on, I have an essential oil for that. I'm gonna make you a spray. And or just like all these things, and she's so helpful for it. But
that's awesome.
We're just like, we need the white witch over here.
But yeah, he's just like, you're becoming a witch, and I'm like, you don't quit, and I'm going to be witch you. But yet he's the one that sat there, and it was like 2 years ago or something like that. Ended up getting one of them brooms that you sit in front of your door that are cinnamon. I'm like, and you want to call me a witch? Do you even know what that means?
Yeah. Isn't there like a lot of like Appalachian type of stuff going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, because I never got into all that stuff while I was in West Virginia, but I know like have you ever heard of the Mothman?
I have no idea. Yeah, I see people referring to it, but I have no idea what any of it is.
So I can't give you the whole details of it, but it's like kind of like Bigfoot in the way. It's a
Mm.
folklore, and supposedly more up towards like Morgantown, West Virginia, which they have a parade about it and everything. Um, but it's like a folklore, whatever you want to call them. And like I said, I can't give you all the details, but it's something, interesting if you want to look up.
That is kind yeah, I've always seen, like, different, like, references, but never
Mhm.
understood it, so
Yeah.
I don't feel like Iowa has any good folklore, yeah, I don't know, I guess we're boring here.
I know South Carolina, they have one. It's got to do something with the swamps, but I can't I can't remember exactly what it is.
Hmm,
Yeah.
interesting.
I never got into the folk. I'm saying it wrong, but the folklore and fairy tales, I never really got into that stuff.
Mhm.
So that's more of my sister. She loves fairies and she loves mushrooms and stuff like that. That's more of her thing. But I'm just more of, I like the crystals, I like astrology, I like
Mhm.
the sun and the moon and how it relates to life and the
Yep,
seasons.
but those are, like, philosophies that go back to the beginning of
Yeah.
time, and just being in tune with nature is something that I feel like because even though technology is amazing, and I'm so thankful for technology, because yeah, I woulda never met you without technology, but the fact that we can have a conversation like this, like,
Mhm.
technology is amazing, but that being said, it has taken us away from being connected with the earth and in just like nature and everything around us.
Right. And I think that's a lot of people's problems nowadays is they're
Mhm.
not, for one, in tune with their body, they're not in
Yeah.
tune with nature, they're not grounding themselves.
Mhm.
And I think that's a lot of, and also too the foods that we eat
Yeah.
nowadays. I think that has a lot to do with a lot of the problems that we have.
Mhm. Well, and if you've never, like, lived rurally, like, if you've always lived in a big city and stuff, and I do live very rurally, but I've never lived in, like, a major city, but I was in, like, the Minneapolis suburbs, and I was in, the Quad Cities, which is on both sides of Iowa and Illinois, so not huge or anything, but, I mean, it's just totally different than, like, going out into the woods and sleeping under the stars, and I know for me, I've been able to calm down a lot
Mhm.
just living in the country and just not having constant traffic and constant noise, and that's not an option for everybody, and not everybody wants that, but if you would just get a chance to, like, go camp for a weekend in the woods, like, go and just reconnect with the quiet.
You will appreciate life a lot.
Mhm.
You will. Yeah, we used to live in California, and even a small town in California is not, what I'm used to or what you're used to.
Mhm.
So somebody's like, "Yeah, we're living in a small town," and I'm like, "Yeah, of 80,000 people, that's a lot."
It is, yes.
So that's part of the reasons why we moved out of California when I lived with my parents. Um, but to my stepdad, my mom's from West Virginia. My stepdad's from Ohio. He's not backwoods, but he's more of a country boy.
Okay.
And my mom, she lived in the country in the mountains of West Virginia, so getting back to those roots was not.
Mhm.
So, so yeah. And then moving down here, I mean, we don't live in a like complete rural area, but it is a small town, and there's nothing but farms around.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean,
I
it's
mean,
definitely got its downsides at times, just the convenience factor and
mhm,
stuff like that, but
right,
just for the peace, it's good.
right. See, like if it was up to me and my husband, if we could afford it, we would have acres upon acres upon acres because, I mean, he's in a way a person's people,
Mhm.
but I'm not much of a social person, and I just want to. I mean, we have neighbors on this side of us, and it's like too close for comfort in a way. So
Gotcha.
I want to be kind of, and I told him, I said, you know, at one point in time, we've talked about going off grid, but I don't know. I like my AC, so.
I get that.
But I mean,
There's definitely some things that I have grown very accustomed
yeah.
to.
And I got a little bit of a taste of it when me and him first got married, because we lived in a camper on his parents' property. And they also live in West Virginia, but um, like living in the camper, it's completely different than obviously living in a house.
Mhm.
And in order for us to, they didn't have, city water, or they had a well, but it was a
Mhm.
very small well. So in order for us to get water, we had to go to the local spring off of the mountain and get, a 500-gallon tank. And
Wow.
that's how sometimes we had to put water in the horse barn. We had to fill up our camper. I mean, I was not used to that. So marrying into that lifestyle, it like changed my perspective on a lot of things, and appreciated,
Mhm.
uh, the land and how hard some people work just to survive.
Yes, yes. Well, and I have never remotely lived like that.
Mhm.
Like, that's hardcore. But, I've seen, like, people comment and make things not, like, on my videos, that's not relevant, but, um, like, they just don't understand, like, where I'm at, like, if the power goes out, my well pump doesn't work,
Mhm.
meaning all of a sudden then I don't have running water, I don't have a
Mhm.
flushing toilet, those type of things, and it's just like when you live in a city and in town and you have those municipal things, like, I think it doesn't even occur to you, like,
Yeah.
how amazing those things are.
Yeah, it especially during the winter, it completely sucks because
Mhm.
the well that they had, I mean, the pipe would constantly freeze if it got, below freezing. So we would be outside if we needed water, because they also lived on their driveway is a mile and a half of clay road. So during the winter time, it gets really sloppy to where you can't even drive in
Oh.
without rutting it up. So sometimes we would be out there with a heat gun and trying to defrost the pipe. If not, I mean, we didn't have water. Luckily, his parents, they had a single wide put in and a well and all of that. So if we needed to take a shower, we could go up to his
Mhm.
parents' house. But I mean, still, just trying to get water in the camper during the winter, it there was times that I had, which again, I wasn't used to that lifestyle, but there was days that I had to go a day without a shower. And to me, it's nasty for me. So, but I mean, my husband, he was used to it. So,
Yeah, we in the wintertime, it gets here, I mean, it can get horribly cold, like,
mhm,
I mean, in its coldest, it can get, like, 40 below with the wind chill factor, and so, yeah, we do have to watch out, I mean, it can be deadly to be outside, and
mhm,
we ended up installing a wood stove in our living room, and that has made a big impact, but then
mhm,
it's like, you then have the responsibility of tracking down wood all year round, and thankfully, my husband takes that duty upon himself, but, like, all summer long, like, and in the fall, like, if he has free time, he's like, "I need to go chop some wood." And so, he's got, like, a hydraulic wood splitter and stuff. He's not, like,
mm,
out there,
yeah,
like,
chopping
with an
wood,
axe like a lumberjack, but,
yeah,
um that's just the thing, like, then you have to constantly be getting all of that.
mhm. Yeah, that's the house that I was telling you that we were trying to buy in West Virginia. They had a wood stove, and I mean, they're nice. They're nice because you don't have, that high of electric bill.
Mhm.
But two, it's either freezing cold because you're not kindling the
Yes.
fire, or it's like blazing hot in the
Yes.
house. So,
Yes, that's the thing. Our, like, living room, dining room area is very hot, and then our
mhm,
bedroom is directly above that. So that is very hot. But then when you watch the other side of the house to the kitchen, you're like, whoa. So like I keep slippers and a sweatshirt on the chair by the door. So when I want to go in the other room, I bundle up.
Yeah.
Because it's like 85 in the living room.
Yep. Yep. There was no vents leading into our bedroom, which we were thankful because like it's got to be freezing cold for us to sleep. I
Yeah.
mean, it was in the midst of winter and we had the windows open, snowing outside. It'd be like 15 degrees outside and we'd have the windows open. That's just how we are. But the living room would be, 80, 90 degrees. So yeah, I was thankful that we didn't have a vent because I would not be able to
You wouldn't have
sleep.
been able to make it.
I'd be sweating like a pig.
Yeah, I'm just like in a stage of life where I always sweat at night. Like I have a night sweats. So yeah, I need it very, very cold in order to sleep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We've got always the AC blasted in our bedroom with the fan on. So yeah, it's
Yep.
got by 4 o'clock in the morning, we're both shivering, but I'd rather be shivering than can't sleep because it's too hot.
I agree. Do you think it's weird like this time of year too? Like it's still very hot here. And like I put out a beanie video yesterday and you're working on your bandana cowl and it's like it's a little hard to find the motivation, I feel like, for warm weather projects when it's like super hot and you're sweating working on it. Are you finding that too?
Yeah. Like down here, it gets so hot. I mean, this year we've been in a drought and most of our temperatures have been in the high 90s, if not hundreds.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, especially this last like month, I've done a lot of spinning more than normal, just because for one, I've been in a brain fog, but for two, I don't know what to work on because it's been so hot.
Yeah.
But I also like more fall winter projects anyways, so
Yeah. I just saw on Instagram yesterday, maybe. I don't know if you would know. Her name is Carrie Penny, but her channel name is the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And I just saw she posted on Instagram that she just got a spinning wheel yesterday. So kind of excited to see what she does with that. And
do you know what kind of spinning wheel she got, or
I don't, like she just showed the like she had just like opened the box and it looked like she needed to assemble it. I mean, it looked like kind of like a blonde wood or like untreated wood. Like it looked very light. But that's all I know from the Instagram post.
so that's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly. I know in Ashford QB that you have the option to either buy it already treated or not treated. I was like, I'm not paying an extra $100 for somebody treated when I can stain it myself and I can choose what kind of stain and primer I want on it. I'm not no.
And hers was definitely like, it definitely looked modern. Like it wasn't the kind that had the more spindly things on it. Do you know what I'm saying? No. So like some spinning wheels I've seen like okay, so like the parts of the wheel, like this one was very like streamlined where I don't think I have any furniture in here that looks like it, but like some spinning wheels I have seen, the spokes on it look more like furniture where it's like it looks like it's been done on a lathe. Sorry.
Like more kind of like an antique look? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I think they still make some that look like that, correct?
I think kind of. I think it's the Katie also might know because she is a spinner as well. But it might be like a country. I think it's called like countryside spinner or something like that.
Okay.
I can't. I know there is one that does kind of look a little bit more antique-ish, if that's what you want to call it. Modern antique.
Yeah. Yeah, Katie's saying it sounds like possibly castle style.
which tends to look more modern. So I think she knows. Katie, how long have you been spinning? Because I learned quite a bit from just watching her videos too. I know like superwash merino. I know it's got to go through a process and the scoring and all of that, but I didn't know that you cannot actually velt superwash merino.
Okay.
Which I thought that would be with all of the chemicals and stuff like that they use to get the superwash, that it would velt easier. But I didn't know that you can't actually velt superwash merino. So I'm still.
I found this is totally off topic, but I was going through, I had to sew some curtains and it had been so long since I'd gotten my sewing machine out. I had to like look at the instruction book to figure out how to like wind my bobbin and do everything. So, a goal of mine, get that out more often and use it
Yeah.
so I don't keep forgetting how to set everything up. But so I was digging around in this desk I have, and I found two books that I had bought at a thrift store, and they were both on like natural dyeing yarn. And I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. I found these. So that might be my next venture, since I don't think that would be as inexpensive as a hobby to fall into. So
Yeah.
I might maybe try to do a little bit of dyeing. I don't know. We'll see.
It's fun. I enjoy it. And I mean, to me, you can't really ever mess up when you're dyeing something. So yeah, I would say, are you wanting to go more natural dyes, or are you wanting to do more like acid, or what kind of dyes are you wanting to do?
Here's the thing, even though I found the books I had bought and forgot I bought, those were natural dyeing, but like I said, I bought them because I found them at a thrift store, so I'm not necessarily, like, drawn either way. I would probably go with what I think might be easiest, and I would assume that that might actually be just purchasing dye.
I know, Katie, I want to get more into natural dyeing too, which I'm wanting to. We had some blackberry bushes, and I've saved those and put them in the freezer. And what I'm wanting to do is dye yarn with them blackberries. I haven't got to it yet, but that is something. I know like what a lot of people do, and what I did was I started playing out with a right dye. Some people play with food coloring, but food coloring is only specific for protein fibers, because
Okay.
synthetic fibers or synthetic fibers won't pick up that dye. Um, but I like working with the acid dyes because it's just, to me, a lot easier. I don't know a lot about dyeing just yet. That's something I've been wanting to get a little bit more into. But the reason why they're called acid dyes, and I kind of go over this in my next video of my daughter and myself dyeing the fiber. But the reason why they're called acid dyes is because you need something acidic to bind to the dye,
Ah,
whether it's white distilled or white distilled vinegar or citric acid. So
okay.
there's not actually dye or acid in the dye. So
I can see where people would think that, but, that makes perfect sense.
yeah, yeah. And then I think there's a few other dyes, but I can't really remember what they are. But I
Do
would
do
go ahead.
you or anybody in the comments have, like, a good source where they have purchased dye at?
So I get what is his name? I will send you the link when we're
Okay,
done. But his website is Jerry Craft something. It's Jerry something.
okay.
But I will send you the link to it, because I feel like his is the best budget friendly,
Oh, okay.
because some dyes can be a little expensive. So,
Thank you, I appreciate
but
that.
or if you want to do some research, Jacquard dyes is what I use.
Okay, thank you.
Those are my favorites. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's helpful. I appreciate it.
Yeah. A lot of people will also start with cotton because cotton is one of the easiest to dyes.
Okay.
But do not start with black. Black, dyeing with black is really, really hard to do. Really hard to do. That's I you see in my braid that me and her just
Mhm.
in her dyed. Yeah, that brown that was in the braid was actually supposed to be black. I don't know if it's to do with because it said that it was a new recipe. I don't know if it was to do with the recipe or I'm not mixing enough in or what's going on. But this is the second time that I've used the black dye and it's turned brown.
Oh.
Yeah, which I have the jet black right here. It's not jet black.
Well, lucky for me, I like brown, but if you're going for black and get brown, that's
Yeah.
not optimal.
Now, the moon harvest fiber braid that I did use black with that, and it actually turned out more of a gray.
Okay.
So there was some more black in there than, it just completely turning brown. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with maybe the way you dye it. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
bye me or bye Mama Winch. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes. Appreciate it.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun and you can play with so many different techniques and that's kind of what I'm doing right now is playing with different techniques because my favorite so far even though it is time consuming my favorite that I've done so far is called layering.
Okay.
What you do is you'll put your fiber, it's mainly for fiber, but you'll put it in a braid and then you put your dye over top of it. Let it, what's the word? Let the dye exhaust. And
Okay.
then you got to let it cool, especially with fibers, because they will melt. But you let it air dry and then you go back over with a different colored dye and it does like a layering effect. So,
Okay.
and I'll show you. You up, mommy? What? But yeah, this is what I did with that layering.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty.
This is the Sweetpea on my Etsy shop.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
very pretty.
I went in with I can't even remember what color it was, but it was more like a pink color.
Okay.
I went over with that and then I let it dry and then I went back over with like a violet so you can see the layering and then I just add some specks into it of some orange.
Okay.
But yeah. So it's fun to mess around with and just play. Like I said, you can't really ever mess up dyeing um, fiber or yarn. So.
Well, and it's not like I'm so when I say this, I don't mean like I'm bored with yarn because I'm not bored with yarn.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm kind of getting to the point where I have worked at building up my yarn stash to things that I love.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's not like they're constantly coming out with new stuff. I mean, they are, but they aren't. A lot of
Mhm.
it's just like very similar. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing that's like grabbing me right now where I'm like, oh, I have to run to Joanne and get this yarn,
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe that is a sign that I could experiment a little more,
Mhm.
and make something and put the time and the effort into it. So we'll
Right.
see.
I'd say go for it. I mean, you never know what you like, and I mean, you can always, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But you can say, yeah, at least tried it. So.
Yep, exactly, exactly.
So Katie, yes, it is merino. It's the Australian. It's 100% Australian merino, and I can't even remember the micron count on it. I think it's 23. Yeah, that's how I feel, Katie, too, is there's so much to learn. And like I've talked about before, I'm the type of person when I start something new, I've got to know everything right then and there. And I've got to tell my mind, no, you're just in a learning process. Chill out. You'll get it eventually. So,
I also suffer from that, where when I decide I want to learn something, I have to devour every bit of information on it.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Unless it's welding. Welding's one of those, like, I've got to ask questions, which I don't know if you've seen, my husband's actually teaching me how to weld.
Oh, cool.
So that was kind of, he said that I was the one wanting to learn, but I think he kind of forced it upon me. So,
Gotcha,
which
gotcha.
I don't mind. I always like learning something new
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, I can say, yeah, I've tried it, or yeah, I know how to do this, or, whatever.
and not
But
everyone can cut metal with fire, so,
no, no. And it's a shock factor when you first start. And my welding right now, what he calls, looks like bubble gum, just because it's like getting over that factor of that metal is heating up, it's creating a spark, and not used to that. So my hands skipping like that, so it looks like bubble.
everybody starts somewhere.
Katie says welding is hardcore. You are a witch. You can do it. I'm totally teasing. Katie, you might want to be careful. I might bewitch you too.
And then you'll start welding too.
I'll have everybody bewitched.
You'll wake up in the morning and be like, "I have this weird, like, urge to learn to weld."
Yeah, yeah. I might put a hex on you. No. Anything that I've messed around with, which it's more just spell work, is white magic. So I don't get into the black magic and the voodoo dolls and all of that.
That's like Louisiana type stuff, and I think
Yeah,
that was in the comments a while back
yeah,
too.
yeah. The bayou. The bayou.
Yes.
I've heard, I haven't personally heard stories, but I've heard there's a lot of black magic
Mhm.
down in the bayou.
Yeah, I have heard that too.
Which, talking about this, where we lived out in West Virginia, they caught people actually doing black magic in the woods. We're kind of close to where we were. They had there. It was just weird because there was a wooden bench, um, just sitting in the middle of the woods. There was nothing else around it but a wooden bench. There was voodoo dolls. There was what is it called, the Pentagon?
Mm.
Or is it called the Pentagon? Or I can't remember, but the star or whatever. Um, yeah, there was just some weird stuff where, yeah, I ain't going out there. If if I were down in the bayou, I would bling. I would be doing black magic too. Yeah, I would be doing black magic to get away from all the alligators. Hex them all. Hex them all. And someone call it voodoo, and some call it hoodoo. Yeah, I think it just depends on where you grow up and where your dialect is and stuff.
Yeah, it makes me feel like it's just boring here where I live. There's, like, nothing going on, so
That's if you ever go to the Appalachian Mountains, do not catch yourself outside when it's dark. Do not.
I guess, like, not to be like, ugh, I guess instead of, like, folklore, we have, like, people on meth that will steal the copper out of your house, like that, like, but that's not
They
those are real.
they get a lot of that in West Virginia, especially southern West Virginia too. So yeah, the county that my mom grew up in and lives in now, they have a lot of issues with that and arsenic.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for insurance purposes.
Wow.
I live for boring these days.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Boring is good. It really is.
It's nice to have a little bit of excitement in your life occasionally. Occasionally, depending on the excitement, I guess.
I got a text Thursday morning
Mhm.
from my mother-in-law who lives in Kansas saying, "What are you doing Sunday afternoon? We'll be driving by." Well, that was a little bit of excitement because now I got to clean my house today. Well, unexpected excitement.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna even go there. I was gonna
I'm
say,
like, and my
especially
house
when it's
isn't
been.
terrible. It's just, we live here. And
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
tend to like during the week, we work pretty long hours. And so, like, when I come in, I just dump all my stuff like in the dining room. And that's where family's going to be now. So I'm like, oh, I got to address that now. But it definitely, when I opened that text, it got my heart fluttering a little bit
yeah,
there.
yeah. Especially, I don't know your relationship with your in-laws, but when it is your in-laws,
There's a different sense of pressure there, than if it's
yeah,
just like some
mhm,
friends that are in the same stage of life.
right. Yeah, like not really anybody comes and visits us. My dad, he would go to Florida, every few months, and he would stop by. But I don't really talk to my dad anymore because he had said some unhinged things to my sister
Oh,
about a certain situation, and I'm like, I can't forgive you for that.
yep.
Um, but I mean, other than that, occasionally we'll have one or two people come down once a month, or not once a month. Gosh, I hope not once a month. Love y'all and everything, but I can't handle y'all
But
once
don't show up.
a month. But like once or twice a year. So
Our thing is more like we don't have people over regularly, but then it seems like we're more centrally located, and the way our house is set up seems to be better than some of the other people in the family, where it's just easier, where like our kitchen and dining room and living room, like it just flows better
yeah,
and we can seat more people. So it's like we'll go months without having anybody over, but then, oh, here's 20 people for dinner, like
yeah,
so
yeah,
we just get them like all at once,
yeah. Well, at least you're getting it all at once and not, you know,
sprinkled throughout the month.
yeah.
I'd be exhausted if people were over that
Oh,
much.
me too. My mom, I've got to praise that woman because, especially the last few years, she has been going through it. Um, she's constantly on the run. So I've got to praise her with my brother. She's got to go pick up one of his daughters because of court issues. But
Oh, okay.
she's also dealing with my grandparents as well. My grandfather having the cancer. She's been
Mhm.
having to take him to his appointments or them to his appointments. Um, so I've got to praise her because she's constantly on the run, constantly on the run. And I do not see how that woman does it, especially things that she's got to personally take care of too. So I've got to praise her.
So, Karen, are you referring to my hot flash night sweat stage of life or the stage of life where I dump everything in my dining room? They can be both at the same time.
Yeah, you can say I'm having a hot flash. Forget it all. I ain't doing nothing because I'm having a hot flash. Luckily, I have not gotten to that point yet. I
You
still have a few
enjoy
years.
that time.
Yeah, yeah, because I've heard it's miserable at times.
I guess I am fortunate that I mean, while it does disrupt my sleep at times, I am very fortunate that it's pretty much just a night thing for me. I'm
Yeah.
not dealing with like because I've seen people in the day where they're like stripping off clothes at work, and I'm not dealing with that,
Oh,
thankfully. So Karen says yes, it's hot flashes.
oh,
Well, I feel for you. I do.
yeah. It started when she was 50.
Okay. I started dealing with that at like 35. Is when the hot flashes and the
Mhm.
tiredness, and I'm actually like feeling way better now.
Yeah.
So like I feel so much better than um 10, 12 years ago. So I'm 48 right now. So like I feel like I'm kind of
Going back up.
yep, feeling more like myself.
Oh, I'm not ready for it. I mean, I still got like 10 to 15 years before it hits me, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
I don't blame you.
Oh, that's endometriosis runs in my family.
Okay.
That's what I'm kind of.
You're a little more worried about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, she ended up having to have a full hysterectomy because she had. I get her and my mother-in-law's story mixed up sometimes because his mom had to have a full hysterectomy as well. But I think my mom, I think her bladder was actually connecting to her uterus. So she had to have a full hysterectomy
Mhm.
at a fairly young age.
My
Um,
mom had that exact same thing where it was the endometriosis and it was like the fibers or fibroids or whatever, where it was yeah, it was like connecting, I think like some of the I don't know, it was like fallopian tubes and the
mm,
bladder and all that. So I
yeah.
think she was 50 when she had that done, but she probably should have had that done a decade before. She just didn't want to deal with it.
Hmm.
I ended up having, an ablation when I was, I think, 40, and so I really don't know where I'm at on that stage. I could go get, like, the blood test to see where my hormone levels are, but that made a huge difference in my life. I mean, and, we weren't gonna have more kids or anything at that point, so but I do like that that's, like, an option before a hysterectomy, so, like, I have everything, it just doesn't work.
Right, right. Katie said, I've decided I'm going to skip menopause.
I think
I'm
that's
right
an
there with
excellent idea, Katie.
you. I'm right there. Them For me, my pregnancy was rough. I had round ligament pain. I had sciatic nerve. Um, I constantly had morning sickness. I knew my hormones were through the roof, and just the thought of menopause and that for years, I don't know. I don't want to go through it. I'm not ready to go through it. Nope.
I don't blame you.
Which I know it might sound crazy that I'm, 26 years old and, me talking about menopause and me not wanting to go through menopause, but I'm
It's
not
just
looking
one of
for it.
yeah, it's just one of those weird things, and you just don't know what your body and your genetics and your family history and
Right.
yeah, nobody
Right.
really knows.
Right. That and if, like I said, endometriosis does run in the
Mhm.
family. And when that hits, because my
Yep.
mom, I think she was about around the same age that you were saying, around
Okay.
35, when she had to have her full hysterectomy.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother, I believe she was 27.
Oh,
Yeah,
super young.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, that is a legitimate thing then for you to think about.
yeah. So,
Just one more thing, as if life isn't complicated enough, right? Just throw that
yeah,
on.
yeah. Why can't men have the menopause?
No kidding. It is
We like,
named after them.
yeah, yeah. They get it so easy. Get it so easy.
Mhm.
That's all the time. Which I mean, I get my husband. He works and all that, but he's like, I'm hurting, da, 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 this and that, and I'm like, well, how do you think I feel about that time of month?
Karen, that is funny that your mom was like that. I suppose you can create whatever narrative you want and say it, but
Hey,
that's
I mean,
funny.
hey, whatever works. Whatever works. Oh,
I see you got your moonshine out today.
yep, yep. It's strawberry guava flavored.
Ooh, that'd be very good. I just teased Sydney about the moonshine. It is not moonshine.
Katie says, "Oh my gosh, a man with menopause, the whining would never end." Yes. So then maybe that isn't a good idea for men
It
to
would
have.
it would end up still somehow being worse on women.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like they saying that women cry so much or we're so about our emotions. Watch a man get pissed off. Watch. I mean, yeah. You want to talk about being emotional? You want to talk about being emotional? No, 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 no.
That's right, Katie. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, yeah. That or they get the man flu. I can't do nothing. I need you to take care of me, please. Yep.
So I got to clean the rest of the afternoon. What are you guys doing this afternoon then?
Oh, I don't know. I
So
don't know.
nothing too exciting then.
No, my husband, he already cleaned out the refrigerator. He said that he was going to go finish mowing. So I don't know what else is left to do.
Yeah, I would say my husband also mentioned most. So I was like looking out at the grass and I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty bad. But thankfully he like left this morning. He was going in to deal with his folks' house and mow there. So he was like, I was just like, thank you, because I don't want to deal with the lawnmower during this live.
Yeah, which I think that's what he might be doing right now. I don't know.
I don't hear anything.
I
So
thought I heard the lawnmower, which it's the front yard that needs to be mowed. So I thought I heard it, but it could be the neighbors too, because they mow their yard like 20 times a day. Or not 20 times a day, 20 times a week.
just all the time.
Oh my gosh. They're they've got money. Let's just say that. They've got money. So everything has to look proper.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, like, dude, you don't need to mow like 20 times a week. But if that gives you something to do, that gives you something to do, I guess.
That is the good thing about being in the country too, is not
Mhm.
having close neighbors. And then we're far enough back from the road that you really can't see what the length of our grass is. Katie looks like she's going to play with her nieces. That would be
Ooh,
nice.
fun. Fun. How old are your nieces, Katie?
I was wondering that too. My niece is 21, so she doesn't play with me anymore.
No? And that would be kind of, I guess, weird if she was.
Yes. Like, she'll hang out, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
See,
She's, like, on her phone, you know?
yeah. Yeah. But
Karen's gonna be making hats for the homeless. That is awesome.
mhm,
I've kinda looked, and I think I have in the past donated to, um, there's, like it's a place, and it's a couple counties away, but it is like it's for, like, women in crisis, so, like, if it's a domestic thing, and I
mhm,
have donated clothes and garments there before, but I think that's really about my only option around here. We don't really have I mean, just being so rural, we don't have, like, a homeless problem per se,
mhm.
in my part of the state, just because there isn't anywhere for anybody to go. You know, like, you would die if you were, like, trying to sleep outside in the wintertime. I
Right.
think, like, maybe that's more of an issue, like, down in the Des Moines area or in, like, the Omaha, Council Bluffs area or something like that where maybe Quad Cities, yeah, but, like, in this part of the state, I'm like, I don't really so, yeah, I think the domestic assault place is probably my best bet as far as taking donations, and like I said, that's only a couple counties away, so
Maybe even a church or a food pantry. You can look at that
Yep,
too.
yep,
So,
and we do have some place like that kinda nearby, so
mhm. By the way, I'm not picking my nose. I am trying to fix my nose ring because it's about to come out.
I I figured that's what you were doing.
So,
I had a nose ring for so long and I loved it. And
really.
then, when I had that surgery, that ablation,
Mhm.
um, I was really nervous. I don't have a lot of surgeries. I had my gallbladder out like 20 some years before that. But, I told my husband because he couldn't wear any jewelry, I'm like, "I'm gonna be drugged, make sure I put this back in my nose because 'cause I'm just like a fast healer,
Yeah.
and so I was like, "Make sure I do this." Well, I had a very bad reaction to the anesthesia and was just, like, throwing up, like, all day after the surgery and just sleeping and everything, and I was very drugged up, and I forgot to put my nose ring back in. He was worried about my well-being, not the nose ring, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 days later or a day and a half later, I was like, "Oh, my nose ring." Couldn't get it back in.
Oh, no.
And then I
And
just
then
gave up. I was like,
yeah,
"Meh, guess this is done."
yeah, and then to re-pierce it, I
Yeah.
heard it's worse re-piercing.
Oh, I bet.
So,
So, yep, don't have that anymore.
I've had
Oh, oh, sorry.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
Karen, I have heard that about Denver, actually. There was a gal I ran into in my area, and she's originally from here, lived in Denver, and has since moved to Wisconsin. But she said, and I don't know any Denver geography, but she said where she lived, there was a stadium a few blocks away from her home, and it ended up being like the stadium parking lot was filled with tents. So it turned into like one of those tent cities
Yeah.
of all homeless. So yeah, I have heard that. That's too bad. Oh, St. Louis is like that too. Yeah. That's the thing. I think the big cities, when you think about like the cost of housing being so high, probably in both of those cities, like housing costs in Iowa have definitely risen, but
Mhm.
like so I bought my house 8 years ago and I have 4 acres and I paid less than $80,000 for my house. I mean, housing prices in Iowa are just less. And I mean, and it has gone up since then, but you can still easily get a home for under $100,000 in Iowa. So, I mean, there are obviously ones that are much, much more.
You're right.
And there's definitely acreages that are way nicer than mine.
Dude,
I'm not saying what I have is the normal, but,
right.
I mean, I'm sure in cities like Denver or St. Louis, like, the price to get in the market is
Oh, yeah.
probably way higher,
Oh, yeah.
and rental prices are probably nuts too.
Oh, yeah. I remember when we lived in California, granted, this is California. Everything is out in California is expensive. But I think for my parents, and this was at least 10 years ago, to rent out a three-bedroom house, it was like over $1,500 a month.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's not even in San Francisco, that's not in LA. That was what they call the countryside of
Yeah, it wasn't
California.
even like a desirable.
No. So it's like, good God.
Yeah, Karen, that's what they like, she said they left their dream home, like, this house they bought was, like, their dream home, and they ended up moving to a whole 'nother state, with his work just to get away from it. I know they were pretty heartbroken.
Mm.
Elizabeth is going to pick up Karen 1 pound at Joann for 4.80. So are
Wow.
you doing, like, the additional 25% off with an order pickup? I'm curious how you're getting it for that price. You have
Yeah.
piqued my interest.
Yeah, that's a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal.
Yeah. I have never done the pickup at Joann for 25% off. I definitely probably should,
Mm.
but it's like I just never think about it when I'm headed to a town with a Joann.
Right.
I did think that it was because of that, Karen. I I had heard there was, like, a massive influx to Colorado when that happened, and then it
Mm.
just yeah, too many people trying to live in one place is yeah, just driving the price up so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we here, maybe more towards Charleston or Columbia, but here or even Myrtle Beach, I don't think we have that big of a homeless problem. And if so, I haven't really seen much or really heard of much. But I also
Okay.
don't keep up with the news or anything like that either. But
I mean, we have, like there's a couple, like, what do I wanna call them? When I say park, I don't mean like a playground park. I mean more of like a like, do you know what an Isaac Walton is? Like, it's a wildlife area.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
certain group, it's not a nature preserve, but it's not like fully a campsite, like a basic campsite.
Okay.
Um, like there's a few of those type of places where people will be living like basically all summer and fall,
Hmm.
but then they like go somewhere else once it gets cold. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just I think geographically sometimes it's just yeah, city. And then the fact that I'm assuming Denver and St. Louis probably have a lot more services for people to go to if they are homeless, where they can go and get food and, go and
Mhm.
get different things that, yeah, just isn't here.
You know how long we've been on here for?
Oh my gosh, almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have had a ton of fun, so I
Yeah. Yeah.
appreciate you hanging out with me this
Yeah.
morning and letting me come
Yes.
on.
Yes. It's always a joy to get up here, get in front of the camera with you, and just talk about God knows what we talk about.
I know.
Always so much fun, and I know for me and for you, it's kind of really relaxed our nerves the more we go through it.
Oh, real quick here, I gotta check out what Elizabeth is saying. There was an email, just a very few colors, can't be delivered, just search. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the tip. Maybe all of us will check out Joanne real quick. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not. I'm not. I'll be honest, I'm not. Thanks for the heads up, but I'm not.
Thank you, Katie. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you so much, you guys. So I appreciate it. And yeah, a month from now, we'll be over on my channel. So I would love it if you would pop over there. We'll send out reminders, of course, in the meantime and stuff. So
Now, I wanted to kind of propose this to you and see what your thoughts were before we leave. They have it to where now we can like cross stream.
oh,
So like you could stream on your channel, but I can also stream on my channel too at the same time. Would
oh,
that be
that's not
something,
a bad idea at
yeah,
all.
something that you would be interested in, or is that just a little bit too much right now where we're still kind of
No,
working
let's
out?
try that
Okay.
next month. Let's definitely
Okay.
try it. Maybe we could do I wonder if we could do a trial run or I guess it does. I'm sure it'll work seamlessly.
We can do a trial run if you want to, whether it's just 10 minutes or however long. We can definitely do a trial run if you want to.
Okay, or we could maybe do it like where we set the time, like at our regular time, but maybe we could start streaming like before before it starts or something just to make sure it's working. I
We
don't
can
know.
definitely, yeah, we can definitely talk about it a little bit more and
Okay, yeah, let's definitely do that. So, yeah, if you're still here, just plan on being able to pop on either or both or however that works. So, yeah.
yep. Well, thank you guys again for coming and hanging out with us and dealing with a little bit of our quirkiness.
Yes.
We greatly appreciate it.
Mhm.
And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you either on both of our channels next month or on Shannon's channel.
It'll be both. We'll figure it out.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.